This is about to be the hardest comparison video I've ever had to do, man. Damn. What's going on, everybody? So, you might be watching this during the Flash Week, where the two games, Soul Sacrifice and Freedom Wars, are $4. So, I want this to be as brief, and I want this to be as to the point as possible. Because picking which game to buy is very hard. I don't blame you for not knowing and searching this video. Wink, wink, wink. Leave a like if you want. Anyways, so let's go start things off right away. So I can't make a decision for you because I will give you a biased decision. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna try and stunt say I'm not unbiased. I will give you a biased decision. So I want you to listen to the details and make a decision for yourself. Oh, and if you hate, I'm talking about like despise monster hunting genre games, then this may not be for you. I'm just gonna let you know. But I would still recommend you listen because these two games are very, very unique. So just listen. So to start things off, we're going to go ahead and start with Soul Sacrifice Delta. And something that I need to mention because I got a lot of questions on my Soul Sacrifice Delta review. You do not, and I repeat, you do not need to play Soul Sacrifice before playing Delta. You would be able to play the whole story of Soul Sacrifice in Delta, and then you'll be able to play the Delta part of the game, and you'll be able to be introduced to all the new things. So don't worry about it. Yeah, so let's go. Soul Sacrifice Delta is a game where you're a sorcerer and you can sacrifice, save, or leave enemies to fate as you go along your journey. It's a very dark type of game. Whenever you see the story, you play the story. If you do, you will understand and see what I mean. So the combat system is not simple punch, kick, stuff like that, or slash, and then quick dash or strong dash. It's all spell based. You have 6 spells you can carry out whenever you go into a mission, and these have uses. Uses can be refueled depending on whether you're a part of the saving faction, the sacrificing faction, or the fate faction. And then if you're a part of the save faction and you do fate, it'll do something else like energize you, make you faster, and it's just different like that. You'll figure it out if you do buy the game. So I'm not gonna go into detail of that. And as I said, go on the missions. It's just similar to the Monster Hunter genres franchises where you have like a central hub. Except this one you're not really moving around. You're more of in a cell, and your main place of like finding missions is reading this book through the pages. Now this might sound very weird and unappealing, but whenever you see the story, you understand the story, you play it, it will make sense. So don't even worry about that. And now that we're on topic of story, the story in Soul Sacrifice Delta is crazy. This story, no words cannot describe how good this story is. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna let you guys just take in that this is my top 5 game of stories, and it's all on the Vita. I'm just gonna put that on the table and leave it right there so you can interpret it how you want. All right. Let's go. Next thing is the combat. So combat wise, it is very, very unique. Like I said, these two games are very unique, never before seen. Like I said, it's not a simple punch, kick, triangle, square, charge attack. It's all spell based. And there is plenty of spells. There's like and there's different classes. Like there's like arms where it makes your arm bigger. That's like you're punching. There's swords. There's spears. Spears are new. There's like bombs. There's mines you can set. There's air mines as well you can set. There's healing. All this stuff. There's a lot of spells. Very, very wide variety. So you can pick from that. 6 of them you can pick, and you can customize how you do. There's combos in Delta as well. Soul Sacrifice did not have combos, but for this one, you can use 2 spells to put them together to make a new spell. Basically, not like fuse, but in the game you can do it, and it'll make something new. Basically, so like I said, the combat system is very vast. But this is where it goes downhill. The combat system is very vast, but after a while, it really gets boring, and I mean boring. Like, I played through Soul Sacrifice, beat the game, played online a couple, and then I kind of just stopped. I was like, wow, I don't feel like playing this game. Like, I'm doing the same thing. It just gets kind of boring. So that's why I was very skeptical about getting Delta. I am happy I did because I needed to experience what was new and like all stuff like that, but I don't even play it anymore. It's not even on my Vita. I saved it to my computer because I needed space. But Delta, like I said, it does add, and this might be just for me. Maybe I played it too much. Maybe I just am not appealed for it. But like I said at the start, I was very, very, attracted to it. It was a very fresh, unique fighting system, very new, and that, you know, that kind of happens for a lot of things that are new. You feel very like you like it a lot, but then after you've played it, you've seen it, you've understood it, it just gets a little boring. And that's what happened to me with Delta. And that's the whole reason why I don't really play it anymore. And so if you want to know more information about this whole fighting system, I'd recommend you watch my review for a full synopsis. But yeah, anyway, so to sum it up, it has a online 4-player co-op, and the amount of missions you can take and the prestige system, you know, it really does add for multiple hours of play. If the combat system does not bore you to death. I'm just gonna say it. Next up, we have Freedom Wars. Now, if any of my oldies, my fam, if any of my fam, the Jammer fam, is watching, they will just know how much I love this game. And they might be like, oh, this guy's about to go off about all the greatness of Freedom Wars. Wait, just wait. I might a little bit, but I have a script, so I won't stray off of topic. Don't worry. I'm gonna tell you the core truths, and it's gonna hurt me a lot, but I gotta do it. I gotta do it for you guys. I gotta do it. So Freedom Wars is something special. A game where you can customize your arsenal, whether it be guns or weapons. It's a game that was thought out to be for more than one type of audience, which is just extremely awesome. There's so much to say about this game. I don't even know where to start, man. But in this game, you're a prisoner, just because you were born. The population is getting too big, and they need somewhere to put all these humans that are being born. So whenever you're born, you're tacked with a 1,000,000-year sentence, and the only way to get your sentence freed is to fight. And you basically have to work for your city, which is called a panopticon in the game. And you have to work for them, you know, do missions, fight stuff to get your freedom back. This entitles you to fight humanoid enemies or big robots, which are called abductors. The true uniqueness comes from the combat system in this game. Oh my god. So, like I said, you have 2 slots for weapons. It can either be 2 guns, say a machine gun and a rocket launcher, or a machine gun and a flamethrower, or a sniper and a flamethrower, or you can have there's a list of swords, you know, sword types you can have. You can have like a big katana, you can have a great sword, you can have, you know, small swords that are, you know, different variations and stuff like that. Or you can do the most common, which is having a gun and a sword. And that's not it. That's not where it ends, you know. It keeps going. There's this other thing called an Ibarra. It makes up for the lack of jump button in the game. You know, a lot of Monster Hunter games don't usually have jump. Not sure why, but you know, they almost never have a jump button. So this is where it changes everything. The Ibarra whip, it just is crazy. You're able to grapple onto basically you're able to grapple onto anything in the game, and you're able to like kind of Spider-Man style. It's kind of like swinging from webs like with Spider-Man, and doing it while shooting, while slicing. It's just a lot of fun, man. Wow. Being able to travel at any height, any angle, anywhere is just what makes the game feel so free. And then having your guns and weapons is just great. It's just truly a game changer. Now, story wise, you know, it's you know, it's up and down. All right, it's very story driven. Let's just get that out of the way. Most Monster Hunter games don't have much story. It's not much, you know, you're just hunting monsters. But for this one, like I said, it's story driven. The story is just a little weird. It is kind of deep, you know. It does make you think. You do feel it a little bit, but there's just so many missing pieces that it just didn't really grapple me a whole lot, you know. It's there though. And that's why I give it about a 7 out of 10, you know. It is very story driven, but the story isn't all that great, you know. It's not, I wouldn't compare it to Soul Sacrifice Delta's story because it'd make it look kind of bad, you know. But like I said, it is there, it is story driven. There is something to understand and play through, you know. But you see, Freedom Wars, the combat is where it just keeps you going, alright. It's so fresh, it's so unique, and it just never gets boring, unlike the Soul Sacrifice Delta. But the true place where the game is stunted and loses its audience is in its difficulty. To note, the game has PvP and PvE. We will talk about why I just said that in a little bit. But anyways, when missions get way too hard for you, that's whenever you're like, alright, I need to upgrade my weapons. Now, the upgrading system in this game is crazy hard. Alright, it's just unnecessarily complicated. you know. And so that's whenever you decide to fall on PvE lobbies. Thankfully, people love helping people in this game because the comment is so fun, doesn't matter what you're doing. And the PvE, you know, the co-op lobbies are very, very active 24/7, no matter what. And yeah, so that's very good. So what happens when you can't find a specific person to help you, or you don't have Wi-Fi, or you just want to be able to do it yourself? That's when you gotta fall onto upgrading. Like I said, it's very complicated, very confusing, but I do have a guide for it. I mean, that should help you. It should help you a lot. I have one for basic and for advanced if you really want to get into it. That's 26 minutes, so I have multiple guides just to let you guys know. But like I said, it's just and some people don't want to get that into it, you know. They don't want to. Whether it's a guide, whether you can watch them to help you, some people don't want to do that. And that's where that's like, you know, that's where it's just like, why did they do that? Like, I do not know what the developers were thinking, man. I just wow. But you know, whenever you do master it, it feels very rewarding. You feel accomplished, and you just want to get out there and start showing off your strong ass weapons. You want to start helping people with their missions, because then they become easy when your weapons are very good. It just, you know, it just takes patience. And like I said, my tutorial videos can guide you through it if you're up to the task, but it doesn't change the fact that it should not be that hard. It's just unforgivable. And really, this is where the downfall of Freedom Wars occurs. And you may not think it's a big thing, but it is pretty big, because like I said, it's very advanced and it hurts the online community a lot. So like I said, in terms of replayability for Soul Sacrifice Delta, there's a lot of missions you can prestige, so you can keep going for a while. But in Freedom Wars, there is no prestige. Whenever you work off your million-year sentence, which does take a little bit, but nowhere near as much time as, you know, replayability. You want to be able to come on and do something and have fun. You know, whenever you work off that sentence, the only thing left to do is, of course, keep playing the very fun combat system, but that only takes you so far. You only enjoy the combat system so much until you still want to play, but it's just like, what am I playing for? You feel me? Like, I'm not working towards anything. I'm not getting anything else. I'm just kind of playing to play. And yes, like I said, it's fun, but it only takes you so far. Like I did mention, if you remember, I mentioned there's a PvP aspect of the online community, and with this PvP, this game would have unlimited replayability, because it's just like Call of Duty. You beat the story, okay, now you go play online forever. Not forever, but you know, it's very fun to play online versus other people. But the PvP is a whole nother book apart from the weapon upgrading. Now, weapon wise, if you use my guides, having good weapons is first step. But then there's tactics that are needed, and these things called augmentations, which change everything. I also have a guide for PvP, and just to let you know, throw this out there quickly as well, it's nowhere near as complicated. The first step is understanding things, like understanding what does what gives me this boost, what gives me this, you know, and that's not very hard to do. And then the next step is just experience, just playing with. But then that second step is almost close to impossible to achieve. As I said, the hardness and dryness of PvP is a problem. The hardness of the game is a problem, and that hardness the PvP derives off that hardness. Because with not enough people playing PvP at all, because they can't even get past code 6 or code 7 of the game, you know, chapter 6, they can't even get past it. Then, you know, I know for myself, I did not want to play PvP until I beat the game. At least beat the game. I didn't care about my sentence, just beat the game. I didn't want to play it. And that's the thing. So people aren't even playing PvP because they're like, you know, it's just the hardness just scares them away from PvP. That's how I felt. And I'm pretty sure that's how a lot of people feel. So with not enough people playing PvP, the newbies have no one to play against except the veterans who have beat the game, who have worked out their sentence, who have put in countless hours of, you know, experience into PvP already with other high level people. You know, then the newbies come in, they see a lobby, they freak out, because like I said, there's like never lobbies for PvP. So they see this lobby, they join it, they either get kicked because they're newbies, or they get curb stomped. I'm talking absolutely obliterated, because if you are clueless in PvP, you will get destroyed. I'm telling you, destroyed. And then they'll never try it again. You know, they'll be like, wow, I got destroyed, I'm not doing that again. So then that's when our PvP community just dies. And without PvP, there isn't a whole lot of replay value, to be quite honest. It's very sad because it has so much potential. Now, don't get me wrong, there is sometimes people playing PvP, like, and especially me, I'm gonna be streaming it so you can and we'll do PvP lobbies. But like I said, you know, if nine times out of 10, if you open up PvP, it's gonna be empty. You know, you just have to. There's like certain times where you might get lucky. There might be a lobby or two. But like I said, the combat system is very enjoyable to push you to go to co-op and help newbies rank up. Like it is that. That's how powerful the combat system is. It has that power, you know. So that's where you make up your decision. So let's go ahead and put these two together. So for this little ranking, we're gonna have amazing as the best, all right as the second best, pretty good as, you know, okay, and then bad for the rankings. So there are three aspects that really make me buy a game, so I feel like it might be for you: story, combat, and replay value. So let's go ahead and review. So the story for Soul Sacrifice Delta is amazing, like I said, and the story for Freedom Wars is, it's alright, you know, but it is there. Actually, I think I'd give it a pretty good. You know, actually that should be switched. Oh well, whatever. Either way, alright, it's pretty good, like as in third best. You know, it's not that great, but it is there. It's story driven. And then combat for Soul Sacrifice Delta is, I just made this one. I made this a unique one. At very first, it's alright, and slowly it just gets to okay and bad. You know, it just slowly fades away. And then combat for Freedom Wars is amazing. So replay value for Soul Sacrifice Delta, I'd say it'd be alright if you don't lose interest in the combat system, and it's pretty good if you did lose interest, because you may want to beat these missions and then you just be like, alright, I'm done, you know. And then replay value for Freedom Wars has the potential to be amazing, but the difficulty of the game and the difficulty of PvP, which derives off of the difficulty of the weapon upgrading system, makes the replay value okay. So I hope you liked that little, you know, game challenge versus whatever you want to call it. I hope you liked that. I hope it was informative. I hope it helps you make your decision of which one to get. They're $4 right now, so quite frankly, I'd get both. But if you're watching this past the Flash week, you know, make your decision off that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I really hope it did help you guys. And other than that, you know, I think I'm done. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.